Well, good morning, everybody. This is Todd Varvel, and welcome to this Advocare training webinar on how to explode your business into 2014. And excited to share with you today, obviously, with the great weather out there. Actually, it's beautiful, but just not conducive for driving and getting to our training. So this is kind of nice for the out-of-state folks as well. And that everybody can just kind of plug in and get fed some information. Today we're going to be sharing some different things as far as really some perspective on on how to take your business to the next level. Some different ideas, really a mindset more than anything else, and certainly some how-tos for building your Advocare business into 2014 and beyond. And so hopefully you have a journal. And like they said, don't leave your future to chance, and don't leave your future to your memory. And if that were my case, I think I'd still be, I don't know, in grade school or something. So anyway, make sure you have a pen and journal, take good notes, and you're going to be hearing, obviously, I'll be on here, and then we also have some great champion leaders who are also going to be joining us. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to turn over to the first one right about now, and this is my brother Jeff, Jammin' Jeff Barble, actually. Normally, here's Jammin' Jeff Stevens from the radio. So here is my brother Jeff, and he's going to share with you a little bit about some perspective on what you're doing now and how you're building your business really over the next few weeks going into 2014. So, Jeff, take it away, buddy.
Well, good morning, everybody. I don't know if I've seen a prettier snow than this in a long time, so hopefully you're getting a chance to enjoy that a little bit. But I'll tell you what Vicki and I have been talking about a lot the last couple weeks. Just kind of, you don't have to physically raise your hand, but if at any point your Advocare business has been a little bit slow, or as we're heading into the holidays, do you feel like maybe people on your team are distracted? If you've been there, that's kind of a little bit about what I wanted to talk about. That's where we've been at. I know a lot of other people kind of experiencing the same thing, whether it's life getting in the way or just the fact that, we're heading into the busiest time of the entire year. The exciting thing, if that is going on, the exciting thing, first of all, if your business is just flourishing nonstop, that is fantastic. But like anything, it kind of, you've got your ups and downs. And if things have been a little bit slow, because sometimes December is, get ready for what is potentially going to be, more than likely will be, the biggest month in the history of the company. It happened last year. It's happened in previous, December to January timeframes. And just know that for, what we've been looking at is, if we've been kind of looking at our downline saying, okay, are there some people who seem to have maybe checked out? They're not really coming to mixers. They're not really getting on webinars. They're not really putting us on phone calls with anybody. And PS, they're not really even, it doesn't even look like they're buying any product. If you have some people like that, this is a great time to shoot them a quick note, put a phone call into them. Obviously, that's the best option, is to put a phone call in, or if you can bump into them somewhere in your course of the day or week, and just have a face-to-face or at least a voice-to-voice conversation with them and say, hey, I just wanted to check up. Is everything all right? We're my wife and I are, fill in the blank, are really excited about the first part of the year. Thanksgiving to Christmas is always tough, and so we're looking to shed a few pounds and really get ourselves back on track. How about you guys? Is there something we can help with? And kind of leave that open ended, and just kind of see what they say. Like, oh, you know what? Yeah, we've just been really distracted, but boy, we just can't wait till January because we're going to really kick this thing back in. Obviously, that's the answer you hope for. If they say something to the effect of, yeah, we're not really doing anything right now, and whatever, and they kind of start down that path, then that's an opportunity for you to invite them to the Monday night event with Deb Fisser. Make sure that they realize that when it comes to January, and this, like I said, it happened last year, and it's going to happen this year. All of a sudden, people start thinking about things differently. Right now, they're thinking about food and presents. But come January 2nd, and in some cases, a few people will think about it even before then, but especially on January 2nd, you feel like crud because you've eaten too much food for the previous 5 or 6 weeks. You're probably overweight, as in I mean, I'm speaking for myself. I know that I have let myself get off track the last month or so. So I am actually excited about going, all right, I'm going to really hunker down and get myself back on track, that January 2nd. And I'm going to try to start doing it a little bit before if possible. Um, but just realize that you have the answer and they have the answer, especially if they're already in your downline and they've just kind of checked out a little bit. Just remind them that we have the best products. We have the elite products. They're always coming out with fantastic new products. And we have the best compensation plans. So if for some reason they've checked out, that's fine. Help them get back on track. That's what we're all called to do as Advocare leaders. So um, just kind of keep that in mind. That's really been on our heart, that we're reaching into people who are already with us. And maybe, you know what else we've noticed too is there are people that are like, well, wow, this was a really great product user, and they've got a couple people in their downline and they haven't even renewed their $50 yet. Take a look at that, because a lot of times we had 2 people this week that said, oh yeah, my email address changed and I forgot. And so obviously Advocare had probably sent them an email saying, hey, don't forget to renew your distributorship for $50, and they forgot. And how terrible would it be if, especially if they're an advisor, over $50 to lose their 40%. And of course, Advocare is usually great about giving a little bit of a grace period, even if it's past their date. I don't want to speak for them, but typically they will at least address that. So make sure that people in your downline are doing their $50. Make sure they're getting plugged back into something. And then for the people that have been telling you no or no thanks, or they've kind of watched you from afar the last over the months or years that you've been in Advocare, this is a great time to go back to them and say, just have a conversation with them about life. And I'm sure that something is going to come up about health or finances, or trying to get something, weight wise or just feeling good wise in order for the new year. And when that comes up, then you could say, hey, listen, I know we've talked about this before, but you really should consider maybe at least doing a 24-day challenge and just see what happens, because we know the products work. We can comfortably say that the products are going to work. They're probably going to have great results. They might end up being a great distributor or product user. And of course, you know what happens, when it starts there, a lot of times those folks are the folks that come back and say, all right, now how do I kick this up and do this advisor thing, or how do I get a bigger discount? So just know that even if it seems a little quiet right now, get ready for a huge, huge explosion, the calm before the storm, if you will, because when it comes to January, because we've got like I said, the Deb Fisser event is this Monday. Man, if you can get some people plugged into that, that's really the last big thing before we kick into January. And when January hits, you don't want to be, I guess what I'm saying is the first week of January, you don't want to be saying, all right, now what should we do to try to kick off our business for the new year? You want to be doing that now. And you want to be kind of setting that up and teeing that up, as they say, now, so that you hit the ground running in January and you're not spinning your wheels for the first couple weeks while everybody else has stuff going on. So you just want to be thinking about things in advance. Think about who you can talk to, look at your downline and see if there's somebody that has checked out or maybe drifted off a little bit. See if you can get them re-involved, and try to get to the Deb Fisser thing Monday night. Then realize we've got the regional event, a couple weeks into January. So, January 2nd, you've got the answer. And 2 weeks later, we've got this great event in Columbus. So there's going to be a lot of stuff happening really, really fast. And you're going to continue to see Advocare out there. And just know that we have the answer. And I think this is a great time to reach into your people, see how they're doing, check in with them, get them re-engaged, and let's have a great 2014. Todd?
Okay. Well, thanks, Jeff. And looks like we are absolutely jam-packed on this webinar, so that's just awesome. So I guess
People didn't hang up?
No, they didn't hang up, Jeff, when you got on, so that's great. That's great. All right.
Can you hang up on the web?
Thanks, man. So So anyway, I just wanted to make sure I checked here for our next speaker that's coming up here in a little bit. Good. Okay. I see where they are. So, all right, guys. Well, we're gonna get straight to it here, and that's just some great perspective there from my bro. And I tell you what, that's there's really nothing like being able to do this with your, do this as a business. 3.5 years ago when we first started this, um, you know, I mean that this was my vision, and thankfully they said yes, even though it's a little bit slow with Greg telling me, well, I'm not sure, we've tried something like that before, didn't work and all that. And then once Jeff and Vicky caught the vision, and then Greg and Sarah came on board. So there's really nothing like doing this with family. But I tell you what, talk to Jason Miller if you're a little frustrated with, man, my family's not getting on board, and they, I really want them to, and man, just stay the course. Stay true to what you're doing. It's the right thing, and they'll come around later, especially when you attain the freedom that you set out to attain through this vehicle called Advocare. Okay, so you got to stay the course, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. About watching who you listen to, and that's kind of scary, because if you listen to the wrong people, especially when it comes to finances, then that's you just have to watch that. I mean, I could have listened to, all the teachers and coaches that I initially talked to that told me no, and you're not going to make money with that, and all that. So you have to watch who you take financial advice from, because the fact was, we met Jim O'Hickey, on the webinar, and we talked to him. It was a personalized webinar, and he had the income that we could only dream of, and he had the lifestyle that we wanted. So if that were the case, and he was saying, "Hey, I am willing to help you get where you want to go," and others were trying to drag me down, saying, "No, it won't work. Don't." You have to watch who you listen to. You really do. And I remember my freshman math teacher, who Jeff knows very well, was the varsity baseball coach. And in front of my freshman math class, he was asking me, "Hey, are you going to play summer baseball?" And I said, "No, I'm going to work on my basketball game." Well, you know, I don't know what I weighed back then, but I wasn't, I was maybe 5'8", skinny kid, um, and it didn't look much like a basketball player. But he didn't know my heart, and he didn't know what I was made of, and he didn't know what my goals were. He didn't know what my drive was. And in front of the whole class, he told me I was too short and the wrong color to play basketball, and so that at that point, you're either going to say, okay, you're right and I'm wrong, and succumb to that negativity, or you're going to prove them wrong. And that is very applicable to Advocare when you think about it, because how many people, try to deter you of your goal and your goals and your dreams for your family. And you just have to really watch who you take financial advice from, and advice about Advocare, because you know what? If they're not doing Advocare, they don't have a clue what they're talking about, and you have to know that. Okay, so what is your why? What do you see for yourself in 2014? And that's really all that matters. And I'm going to show you just a glimpse of this really quick. This was, I can't even tell you that we saw all of this when we first started. Okay, and this was our dreams have gotten bigger and bigger as we've gone, and we certainly don't feel like we have arrived. We have a lot of things we want to accomplish, and really the bottom line is we want to, we have goals for our future, as far as where we want to go, not really income wise, just as far as how many people we want to help. The trip that we just took to Bora Bora, and being able to take the kids and our mom and Shannon's parents to Kauai back in May, to go on the Mediterranean cruise. All these Advocare trips and things like that are really dream trips. But you know what? There's room for every one of you on this webinar. There's room for everyone on these trips. And that is where Advocare is going. Okay. So it's there for everyone. It's not like the lucky ones make it. I think some people think that. Some people think, oh well, they got in at the right time. Um, they were the first and I'm too late and all this. Yeah, I'm telling you what, you have to absolutely refute that and deny that and don't accept it. Because, we were talking about that actually in Bora Bora. Some of the diamond distributors and diamond leaders and platinums and double diamonds, triple diamonds, were talking about how ludicrous that, the idea of saturation is. When you look at that, we're right about 1% of the population in the US. I think there's still some work to do. I think there's still some people out there, and you may be in an area that, you feel like there's a lot of people that are already doing it, things like that. I'm telling you what, we've been doing it for 3.5 years and longer than most people in this area. And there are people on our street who have seen the Advocare logo and have seen the stickers on cars, but still have never sat down to really see what Advocare is all about. And when they do, when they end up showing up at a meeting or on a webinar, I always hear from them and they say the same exact thing. They say, you know what? It's so different than what I thought it was. It's not what I thought it was at all, because, I mean, that's just the reality of it. Okay. And so when you think about, I always say it takes 3 to be free. So when someone says, "Oh, too late," and all this, my best friend didn't get in, my brother didn't get in, my mom told me no, my dad told me I was a fool because I have a master's degree, and what am I doing, wasting my time doing this? Okay, you know what? Times are a changing, and when you look at the Industrial Revolution, you look at the turn of the century and the early 1900s, where 80 to 90% of everyone were business owners. That's why people came here to have the American dream, to own their own business. And why has that flip-flopped? Now there's about 10% business owners and 90% people work for someone else and are building their empire, not their own. Okay, so when you look at the reasoning behind that, and you look at people's mindset now, what are we being programmed to do? From childhood, all through grade school and into middle school, high school, into college. Get a job, get a good education so you can get a good job with good benefits and have a great retirement plan. Okay, folks, that's not working anymore. Okay, it's just not working anymore. And what do they say? The definition of insanity is to continue doing the same thing day in, day out, and expecting different results. Okay, and that's why you have kids that are going to college, getting heavily into debt, going to college, and then they get out and get their first paycheck, and they about fall over, and they say, I'm supposed to pay off all that debt with this paycheck? Okay, so Advocare, and we're not saying education's bad and all that. We're not saying that. We're just saying be smart. Okay, a job is meant to sustain us. A job is meant to maintain. Can you imagine meeting the person of your dreams and you say, hey, honey, stick with me. I'll help you maintain the rest of our lives. Think about that. A job is meant to pay the bills. In our instance, wasn't even doing that. Okay, but if you want to create wealth, you have to do that on the side. Okay, you have to do that on the side. A job is meant to sustain us. If you want to produce wealth, generational wealth for you and your family, you have to do something on the side. And like Jeff was saying, Advocare just so happens to be the best business opportunity on planet Earth. So you have it in your hands. Just like he said, what are you doing with it? Are you treating it like a hobby, or are you treating it like a business? Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So what is your dream? It doesn't matter what ours are. These are ours, and we're doing them. Okay, and we have more to do. And it's not just about trips and all that. It's about your preferred future. Okay, that's all that matters, your preferred future. Are you moving towards that? Okay, I know that we were not with our jobs. So we had to do something on the side. You're gonna work hard anyway, right? You're gonna be busy, busy, busy anyway. You're gonna work anyway. The question is, what are you gonna do? Who are you going to work for? Are you going to work for you? You're going to work for someone else? You're going to work for yourselves, okay? All right. Now, here's the great news. In Advocare, attitude and effort trump ability. I think a lot of people think, well, I'm not that type of person, or I want, you're really that type of person, so you'd be good at this. Okay, rubbish. Okay, I don't know if I've ever used that word, rubbish. Okay, but in all honesty, it doesn't matter. The system makes up for whatever you may lack. Okay, that's the beauty of this. Okay, this is not a flip a coin business where, hey, is this going to work for me? The business works. Will you work it? So if you have a good attitude and you put forth effort, that trumps all ability. Okay, so that's great news for anyone just getting started, or if you've been in for a while. Okay, first things first, advisor. Okay, Jeff talked a little bit about that. Speed of the leader determines the rate of the pack. We know that. Speak with strength about it. Jamie would have called me to sell me Spark. We would not be here today. I can tell you that much. Okay, because my first question would have been, well, how much is the Spark? Because we don't have any money. Okay, he spoke with strength about the business. Advisor puts you on the playing field. If you are on this, and we're not beating you up here, okay, but if you're on this webinar today and you are not an advisor, then you're really not in business yet. Okay, you're not in business yet. You're still at that distributor level, which again, that's okay. Maybe you're just kind of learning the ropes now and things like that. But we can tell you, see you, bro, love you. Okay, we can tell you that again, the speed of the leader determines the speed of the team. Plain and simple. Advisor puts you on the playing field immediately. Okay, if you are wanting to build a lifelong business, okay? No, let me take that back. If you want to be a player, okay, you want to succeed. Let's say it's soccer. I don't know why soccer is on my mind, but you're either going to be on the sidelines, or you're going to be out there playing, okay? So you're on the sidelines if you're not an advisor. Okay, you're not in the playing field yet. Advisor immediately puts you on the playing field of life instead of sitting on the sidelines. So get to advisor one way or another. Okay, you can't talk about this business with people until you get to advisor, because they're going to follow what you do, plain and simple. Okay, and the stronger you are at sharing advisor, the faster you will achieve your freedom. Okay, so get to advisor. The close of this pay period is Tuesday night at midnight. Okay, so you do not want to go into the new year as not being an advisor. Okay, hopefully I'm preaching to the choir here. Okay, so obviously at advisor you maximize your discount and your earning potential. Okay, everything starts with belief. Okay, I was talking the other day with little Chase. Okay, with Chase about basketball and about taking shots in the games. Okay, taking shots, and what if the ball's in your hands, or even if it's not in your hands, and you got 10 seconds to go, and you're down by one. Okay, what is going to build a belief where you're going, what? Give me the ball. Give me the ball, and I will score. I do not have any fear. I'm going to take the big shot. Win or lose, I'm going to take it. Okay, what's going to build that belief? Okay, here's what I told him. I said, listen, if you're not practicing out in the driveway, okay, when no one else is around, no one else is around, no one else is watching you, giving you some attaboys, attagirls, hey, good job, patting you on the back, hey, good job, you keep working hard, okay? It's just you, a ball, and a basket. That's it, okay? Which I love this, all right? But it's the repetition, it's the redundant things, it's the boring stuff that's going to make you great. It's the stuff that you train yourself to do day in and day out, because that repetition is the only thing that's going to produce confidence, belief. Confidence will produce results, right? Results determine long-term success. Okay? What's different about that and Advocare? We're talking basketball there, right? Okay? So the repetition, the practice, when no one else is looking, okay, is going to produce, that's the only thing that's going to produce confidence. Okay, have you ever gone to share your story with someone and sputtered and or well, kind of well, and then they tune you out after about the fifth or okay? They tune you out because you don't have a packaged story. Okay, you haven't practiced enough to where it's second nature to you. Practice, repetition produces confidence. It produces belief in yourself and what you are doing. Okay, that is going to put you into action to give you results. Okay, so the repetition produces confidence, which produces action, which produces results. The results produce long-term success. Okay, and look at that. If you talk about what you believe, then you can attract those who believe what you believe. Okay, I knew Jamie was going somewhere when he talked to me about Advocare. I knew it. He had belief in what he had. Okay, he had belief. So what's going to produce your belief? What are you doing to build your belief? We're going to talk about that a little bit. Hopefully you'll stay with us. Okay, and here's just a few things. We'll talk a little bit more in detail about this, and we will be done by 10. Okay. But so we got about another half hour, but we have so much to cover here, and we still have a guest speaker coming on right after this slide. So listen, develop daily disciplines. What is your daily discipline? What are your daily disciplines? Do you read 15 minutes a day? Do you put positive things into your head to start your day? Okay, I don't know how many Advocare clips, YouTube videos I watched. I used to fall asleep listening to the Rising Stars. You used to be able to hear the Rising Star audio on your website. I would fall asleep listening to those stories. Okay, are you doing that? Are you being a sponge? Are you watching every webinar to where you know what the person doing the webinar is going to say? I knew what Jim O'Hickey was going to say, because I watched so many. Okay, but guess what? That produced the confidence, right? That produced confidence in what I was doing because I was sponging, I was learning, I was doing the repetition, I was doing the redundant things. Watch those clips, watch the YouTube videos. You can learn from all those. Are you plugging in and listening to team calls? I know there's an 8-minute call every day with Bob Ferngren. I mean, those calls are great. And I'm not saying you have to do that, but plug into those calls. What are you putting into your mind each and every day that's going to allow you to move the ball down the field for your Advocare business every day? What is your discipline? What are your daily disciplines? Okay. Are you listening to positive insight? Okay. CDs. Okay. Robert Kiyosaki CDs. The success CDs from Advocare, Charlie Regis CDs. You want to know the foundation of this company. Listen to those. Okay? Doesn't matter if they're a little bit outdated. Okay, listen to them. You want to learn the heartbeat of this company. How bad do you want to be good? I used to ask my players that in basketball. How bad do you want to be good? You know? I mean, I always felt, I remember hearing this at a basketball camp one time at Wittenberg basketball camp, and they said, you know what? When you're not working on your game, someone else is working on theirs, and they're going to get the better of you. Okay? And man, that sunk into me, and I thought, you know what? You know what I can control? I can control me. I can control my work ethic. I can control how hard I go, right? I can control that. I can control what I do each and every day. So I knew going into a game, I didn't care. I remember facing All Americans when I was in college and thinking, no way they're getting the better of me. You know why? Because I outworked them in the off season. There's no way they outworked me. Okay? So you control that. What are you putting into your mind? What are you listening to? Expand your list. Okay, your hard copy list of people that you know and you want to share the business with. Okay, expand it each and every day. Here's some daily disciplines. Spark, set a goal. I'm going to spark 2 or 3 people today. Okay, how do you spark someone? You mix it up and you hand it to them and say, here. Okay, don't overcomplicate it. Okay, how many people are you sharing your story with? Are you packaged? Do you have a packaged story? How many people, we're going to talk about this too, how many people can you introduce your friends too. Okay? How many friends can you introduce your upline to? That's the question. Okay? Now, the bottom thing right there, take ownership. Take ownership, and I see my good friend Heath Francis on this call, and I'm going to let him take it from here for the next 10 minutes. So, 6-star rubies, Heath and Ann Francis, if you are there, give us a shout out, guys. Take it away.
Yeah, we're here, buddy. Can you hear us good?
Yes, sir. Take it away.
Awesome. Awesome. Good deal. Well, hey, thanks for having us this morning, Todd. Really appreciate it. That last little portion right there, take ownership of your future. That's just, man, I can remember, before we got started, we were just going through the motions with our life. We never took ownership of anything we ever did. It was always somebody else's fault. There was always other circumstances that got into the way of what our plans were, what our dreams were. Like for instance, you guys, you've heard me talk before, perhaps that I was laid off, 3 times. I mean, but every time I got laid off, I was thinking about this last night. Every time I got laid off, I never got real excited about it. I would just kind of shrug my shoulders and, whatever happens, happens, just kind of going through the motions. I mean, for crying out loud, I mean, you'd think after the first time you'd get it, the second time, the third time you get smacked in the face with it. I mean, I got 2 babies at that time I got laid off, married, got a mortgage, got all that stuff. But I never learned. I never paid attention to it. I never took ownership of my life. I never took ownership of my future. It wasn't until unfortunately, it wasn't until life circumstances got so bad that we just finally decided, okay, enough. Something's got to give here, whether it's maturity, a mindset, whatever it is. But there finally comes a point in time in your life where you have to say, what am I spending my life on? All right, let's not talk about time. All right, time is just so random. When someone speaks about time, automatically they're thinking of hands on a clock. Okay, hands on a clock, time. That's not time. Time is life. Okay, so what am I spending my life on? What am I doing? This is it. Okay. So it comes a point in time in your life where you have to say, okay, I'm going to take ownership of my life. Okay, and we decided that, you know what, we've got to do something different. So that's when we started paying off and paying off debt and getting ourselves to a position where we could do more for those 3 young men you see right there on that screen. It was about, that's our life, that's our purpose right there. That's what our life is for. It's for them. It's for helping them and for helping others. And if we can spend this life allowing them the opportunity to be able to spend their life helping others and doing more, then our life has been, our life has been well spent. Okay, so you have to look at yourself and you have to say, okay, you just have to decide. The screen. What will they think if I totally commit to this? Look, here's the deal. They're not spending your life. They're not there. They're not spending your life. They're not there with you. If you're so worried about what they think, then you're not going to commit to it. Look, it doesn't matter what they think. This is your life. It's your time. So let's not focus in on what they think. All right? The they that matter in your life are your purpose, your kids, your family. All right? They're the ones that matter. Be totally committed, because I'm telling you, what's going to happen is they are going to see later on that you were committed and that you made a go of it. Make a go of it. Okay? I've got a good friend of mine that when we graduated from school, it was always, oh boy, I always thought, man, I don't know what he's doing. I don't, because I didn't understand. He was getting into politics, and he was getting into, just wasn't my mindset. I mean, it was really getting into some things. I didn't know it was, I didn't think it was him, and I was the one questioning. I was one of they. I was one of the giants in his life. I was one of the guys that, man, what are you doing that for, right? But let me tell you something. I admire him now because I look up to him. I see the things that he's been able to do and the people he's been around and I mean, for crying out loud, the people he's met, the people he's been able to sit down and have a meal with, and where his life is and where it's going, it's phenomenal because at 18 years old, he took ownership of his life and he knew what he wanted, okay? But I was one of those naysayers. I was one of those naysayers. I was one of those people stuck in the quicksand, all right? And we talk about it now. We look at it. We say, okay, it was our culture. No, that's just a simple look. Yes, it was our culture, but that's just that's an immature truth. Okay, it's an immature truth because you have to be able to you have to have gone through it. Maturity means you've gone through it. That's what that means. Okay, all you can do is offer them a branch to help pull them out. Okay, and that's what I was offered. That's what I was given. With this opportunity, I was offered a branch to pull myself out. I was still up, when Tony and I started growing a relationship, we were, he was offered, he was that branch. He was the one helping me out. He was the one helping me out. He was the one pulling me out of that sand. Look, I never had anybody in my life that was helping me to pull myself out of my own mentality. Okay, to pull out the best in me, that I realized. Okay, that I realized. I look back now and I had people, but I was too immature. All right, in life circumstances. Okay, I can remember my grandfather. Growing up, I look back on it now, and it's, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right, and it's worth doing until you get it right. He said it to me all the time. My dad. Oh, geez, my dad. You guys, my dad has been through so much, and I look back on my childhood, and what a blessing it was for me, because it made me appreciate this that much more. Okay, I had a good childhood. My dad worked his tail off for us, and made me who I am, made me industrious. Okay, but when my dad looked at me one day and he said, "Son, will you just do something?" All right, I'm 9 years old. We're in the basement. We're remodeling my dad's basement, and everything's completely gutted. We're down there and we're working. But every day at the end of the day, we would clean up. All right, every day we would clean up. There was a purpose behind it because you finish your day. You finish, and he would tell me, "Do this, do that, do this, do that," and I would do it. Okay. But it was finally the day came, where I come back from doing something he told me to do, and I said, "Dad, what's next?" And he said, "Son, just do something. You've been doing this long enough. We've been down here for a couple months now. Just do something." And that's what it's all about. All right? We dabbled, okay? In this slide here, okay, look. We didn't dabble in Advocare, all right? Before, we were dabbling in life. I can, but I won't. Yeah, look, that's Garfield. That's me, man. A bowl of popcorn and a soda and a remote. And that remote was, I always thought I was doing something. I always thought that I had a reason to be tired. But the fact of the matter is that we were just dabbling. We were dabbling in life. And nobody. We didn't have anybody going with us in our life. Nobody to spend our life with. Okay? But in Advocare, guys, everything changed. Everything changed when we took a full commitment to Advocare, and that was our turning point, because look, right there it is. So we seized the moment. We seized the moment in Advocare, and we became very committed in our life. Okay? And what we were doing and where we were going. Okay? It's not about where you're at. It's about taking ownership of your future and the direction you're going. Okay? And look, hoping something doesn't happen to you isn't part of the process. Understand understand that things are going to happen. You're going to have to go through some stuff, okay? But it's those that are willing to go through that stuff, those that are willing to grow through that stuff. Are you going through it or are you growing through it? That's the question. That's where commitment's at. Be committed to growing through it, guys. Okay, look, seize the moment. Be the be the driver in the seat of your destiny. Alter your destiny, and you can have, look, this vehicle will allow you to go places and do things, that you'd never imagined, just like Todd was talking about at the beginning of this presentation. And before you know it, you're gonna be doing life with people. So on that note, Todd, thanks for allowing us to share. Thanks for sharing your time with us, okay? And allowing us to be a part of this, and just being a part of our lives, buddy. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Heath. I certainly appreciate you taking the time out today as well. I know you always add value to people. You and Annie both. We just love it when you come to our meetings and share from the heart, because you guys are absolute champions. And I tell you, I would trust my entire organization with you guys. That's how much we think of you guys. So you're champions, and certainly appreciate your time today. And we'll be seeing you on Monday night, if not before. And we'll just continue on this webinar here, and for about 15 more minutes. So this is key. Champions say what they mean and do what they say. Average people do what they say when it is convenient. Okay, think about that. Are you a person of your word? Are you a man of your word? Are you a woman of your word? Okay, can people count on you? Can your upline count on you? Can your organization count on you? Okay. All right, so keep that in mind. Be a person of your word, right? Your word is your worth, and your worth is your word. Listen, one of the main, I'd say one of the main pointers or pieces of advice I can give people. I had someone actually, trying to think who it was. It may be one of our champions down in Georgia. They said, "Okay, give me 2 pieces of advice." 2 things that you can tell me. I said, okay, number 1, take away all excuses. Okay, not some, not just the things that are, again, convenient, but take away all excuses. Excuses are useless, okay? And if you let your excuses get bigger than your dreams, you're in trouble, okay? Like it says there, time to get your butt out of the way, okay? Sometimes 2 T's are applicable, right? You just have to get out of your own way, all right? But if you take away all excuses, you know what? That's probably one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give someone. And number 2 was, don't take your foot off the pedal. Too many people start and stop and start and stop, and it is next to impossible to get any momentum going. With us, I'd say the only thing that, you know what we did? The only thing we did to get to Diamond in a year was we had 0 excuses, and we put our foot down and we never let up. Because you know what? We gave up some stuff. We turned off the TV at night. I gave up NBA basketball, college basketball to watch on TV. Why? Because it wasn't doing anything for my family. I just kind of figured, hey, I'll give up watching NBA basketball on TV, and maybe this time next year we can go be in the front row somewhere, right? You give up something temporarily so you can have whatever you want later. That's called choices. It's not about money. It's not about, it's not about a dollar figure. It really is not. It's about choices in life that you wouldn't normally have, okay? I love this. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the mastery of it. Listen, you don't have to be super courageous each and every day, but how about having 15 or 20 seconds of courage? Okay? That's all it takes. That's all it took for Jamie. 15 seconds of courage, where he said, hey, buddy, long time no see. I hear you're still playing some good basketball. Hey, listen, I have an opportunity I want to share with you, and it could be life-changing. I need about 30 minutes of your time. Give me a call back. Here's my number. That was it. And that 15 seconds changed the course of our lives, our kids' lives, and their kids' lives. Okay? 15 seconds of courage. Okay, well, gosh, what was it? What movie? What movie was it? I just saw the other day where they said you know what? I'm remembering the movie now. I wouldn't say go get this movie, but it was a good training point in the movie. And they said, you know what? Whatever you're afraid of, okay, just count to three and do it. Count to three and do it. How about that? I mean, think about that. What if you could just do that? What if you're sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, I haven't talked to this person in so long, and I know I need to call them about Advocare. It's been on my heart. I woke up thinking about it. I know I need to be calling them, but I'm scared. I don't know what they're going to say. You know what? 1, 2, 3, dial the phone. 1, 2, 3, and dial the phone. And when they answer, don't hang up. Okay. All right. So again, listen, you can control your destiny if you have a little bit of courage and you do it on a consistent basis. Okay. You don't have to be Joe or Jane courageous 24/7. Okay. Just have it in little bits and pieces. And guess what? Guess what that's going to do? It's going to get you your freedom. Okay. And you know what? You know what else? It's also going to make you courageous overall. You're going to get more and more courage as you go because it gets easier. It gets easier the second time and the third time. Okay. What's the worst someone can tell you? What's the worst somebody can do in this business? They can say, no, I don't want anything to do with it. Okay. That's probably the worst thing can happen to you. You know, we're not on the battlefields. You think about what people are doing for this country and the freedoms we have and the freedom we have to not be courageous and the freedom we have to sit on our duffs and watch TV and flip channels. Okay, those freedoms are not free. We have people doing a lot more scary stuff than this. Okay, and the worst you can get is an emphatic no. And keep it in mind that you're reaching out to help them. Okay, it's not you that has the problem. You're doing your job. You're trying to share a good opportunity. All right. All right. We'll move on here. To experience success, you must take massive action. We're going to really end this talking about action. Master your story, your product, and your business story. Okay. Remember, when you make the call, it's not to explain the business over the phone. I think that's half the nerves that people have is is just being afraid to have that conversation on the phone. All you're doing is setting an appointment to explain the business and to bring your upline into the picture in some way, shape, or form. Some people think you got to call up and, well, here's what Advocare is. They've been around since 1993, and it's a world-class nutrition company, and we provide solutions. And you don't want to be an infomercial, okay? You're not supposed to be. All right. So, what's your job? Your job is to connect them to the success system. You are a professional introducer, and that is the easiest way to explain what you're doing. If you are not the level that you want to be at on or in Advocare, look at that. I am a professional introducer. All I have to do, my only job, is to get better at the skill of connecting people I know with my upline. Think about that. That is a skill. That's not something you're born with. If you can just get good at saying, you know what, I'm just getting started with this, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to get you on. I'm going to introduce you to someone. Wait till you hear this story. You won't believe it. This is an amazing person in my life. They're helping me build this business. They're not going to sell you a thing, but I want you to hear their story. I want to introduce you to them for about 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes, right? You have 10 minutes for me, right? You trust me, right? Okay. That's it. What if you can get good at that? Your future is going to be unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay. What is the success system? 3-way phone calls, mixers. Mixers are great, right? You just get people in the seats. Get people in the seats. You don't need to sit there and talk to them and explain things. You sit there and you zip it. Just like on a 3-way call, you introduce them and zip it. That's it. Introduce and zip it. Get them to a mixer and zip it. Okay, 2-on-1. Make the introduction. Okay, hey, here's my friend that's helping me out, and they're doing great things. I want you to listen to them. Zip it. Okay, get somebody on a webinar. oh my gosh, watch this webinar. This will explain the whole business to you, and I'll follow up with you later. Zip it. All right. That's action. Your product story, right? Everybody knows the business story, right? And I don't have a slide for your business story, but what is your 20 or 30-second story? How do you package your story? Where I was, what I saw, what I did, and where I'm going. Write that down because I don't have a slide for it. Okay, your story is where I was, what I saw, what I did, and where I'm going. Okay, and for us, where we were both teachers. We were teachers, and we were living paycheck to paycheck. As a matter of fact, couldn't afford Holden's basketball shoes. I don't need to dwell on that. You know why? I say talk about the basketball shoes, right? That was a real thing that happened, and everybody understands exactly where I was. That's all I have to say. Hey, couldn't even afford my oldest son's basketball shoes. How pathetic. I was 40 years old. Okay? What I saw, you know what? We saw Advocare. Jamie introduced us to Jim O'Hickey on a webinar. We saw hope for a better future that we were not going to get with our JOBs. What we did, we went straight to advisor, period. You know what? We want to do this as a business. We went straight to advisor. Plain simple, right? Where we're going, you know what? We're just getting started, but the way it's looking, we're going to be at $10,000 a month this time next year. We're going to be earning $10,000 a month this time next year. Now, is that a guarantee? No, but you know what? The way this is going, the way I see this, and the way I'm plugging into successful people, that's going to happen. Okay? So again, that's 30 seconds right there. I mean, I went longer just trying to explain each of the details, but that's it. Package that. Your product story. All right? How much, how long? That's it. Cut out the fluff. You don't need to talk about, I started drinking the fiber drink and decided I didn't like it, and so then I had to call my upline and tell them that, hey, I want to try that peaches and cream instead. And once I got that under control, then I how much, how long? You know what? You could be on day 2. Oh my gosh, I started on Spark 2 days ago. Started on this 24-day challenge. I'm feeling great. I've already lost a couple pounds in a couple days. Okay, if you're through day 10 or whatever, hey, I know when we did our challenge, we thought, you know what, our business depends on our results. Okay, so if you want to play around with it and sidestep, I remember Jeff's wife, Vicky, my sister-in-law, saying, you know what, I could not see how I could do this without drinking coffee, but there was no way I was going to do it and not get results and look back and say, well, I actually did, I actually cheated. I actually drank coffee the whole time. All right. So, so get good product results. I mean, commit to it. Commit to it. All right. How much, how long? That's the key. All right. It's vital for your business. Package that product story. Here's the bread and butter of Advocare, Spark and M&S. How many times do you see people sign up somebody for $79 and then they never place an order? I'm thinking, what are we doing? Okay, it's more. Listen, get them on Spark and M&S. Okay, they can buy that retail. Get on. That's officially quote unquote getting them on products. Getting them to order a $79 kit is not. They get a few, Spark samples. That's great, but that's like getting a Sam's Club membership, but then never going to Sam's to get any of the products. Okay. So the bread and butter is right here, Spark and M&S. Those are game changers, okay? That's where the long-term money is. Listen, when you talk to people, Bulletproof Shield, I didn't know what this was when we started, so you know what I felt I had on my shoulders and where it was backing me? Drew Brees. Drew Brees was on one shoulder and Ohio State was on the other. Because I saw the strength coach at that time, Coach Eric Lichter, on the Sports Advisory Council for Advocare. I thought, man, huge credibility. So I didn't even think about all this. And I didn't learn this till later. But you think about it. I had Drew Brees and Ohio State. What could someone take away? You think about, okay, hey, I'm not an expert on any question that they give you. Well, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? Is this like one of those things? Is this ingredient in the Spark? Okay. You take your pick. People throw questions at you, right? If you stick to the bulletproof shield, you will not fail. All right. If you try to answer questions and someone says, well, hey, Spark, I heard has a sweetener in it, a non-natural sweetener or something that I heard causes something in lab rats, or I don't know. Okay, but you know what? If I start saying, well, as a matter of fact, that's sucralose, and that is actually the very best sweetener that you can have, and actually the safest when you look at all the studies, and the way that our natural form of caffeine blends with the B vitamins and gives you a mental focus factor. You don't want to sound like that. Okay, they don't really give a rip. They don't care about that. You ever see someone you give them a Spark, or you give them a packet of Spark, and they start looking at the ingredients. You might even chuckle next time in the back of, just to yourself, chuckle to yourself, because they have no clue what they're looking for. They are simply, by doing that, they're simply saying, I have no clue what I'm looking for. I'm trying to act like I am. I'm trying to act like I know something. Okay. Listen, stick to the bulletproof shield. Hey, I'm not an expert on that, but you know what? We had 250 years of experience on our SciMed board. Stanley Dudrick. Our SciMed board's unbelievable. We leave the science to the scientists. Hey, I don't know about that, but you know what? I saw a 12-month satisfaction guaranteed on the advisor order. So we figured, hey, no risk, high upside. Okay. Hey, I don't know about that, but what I do know is I dropped 21 pounds. Okay. Shan lost 16 pounds. My uncle's down 140 pounds. They can't take those away from us. They can't they can't say you didn't lose 21 pounds. I say, yes, I did. I know I did. I know my uncle lost over 140 pounds. Okay. Hey, I don't know a lot about that, but I do know that we're in all 32 NFL teams with a non-paid endorser. I do know Drew Brees is our national spokesperson. They can't say, no, he's not. They can't. Okay. Stick to the bulletproof shield and you will go far. Hey, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what I found. Okay. Feel, felt, found. Okay. Some people say, as I wrap up here, what do you mean by action? I mean this. Be intentional. Okay. Here's what I mean. Jot these down. Be intentional. Make a physical list of people that you know and add to that list each and every day. You may be going through Wendy's and getting the apple pecan salad. Okay. Not a Frosty, right? And you say, man, somebody at the drive-thru, man, they had a smile. They had a bounce in their step. Okay. And they were very pleasant. And I let them know it, Hey, you know what? You got a good personality. You'd be great in our business. Give them a business card. If they have time to talk more, I'll even get their number. Okay. Or I may just kind of go through and say, hey, I appreciate your customer service. That was awesome. That was really good, man. So I pull over the side of Wendy's and put Steve, Wendy's drive-through, Tip City. Okay. All right. Absolutely. And then go back, obviously. Go back in a couple days. They'll remember you. Okay. Hopefully you were pleasant to them. Get people off your list. That's your only thing. Number one priority, get people off your list. How do you do that? By introducing those people to your upline. 3-way calls, 2-on-1s, webinars, mixers. Commit to charging your battery each week. Do you attend a mixer a week? Are you on every team call? Are you on the trainings? Are you doing things online? The CDs, okay? Are you doing things to feed yourself good, positive messages? Okay? 15 minutes of reading a day. Robert Kiyosaki books, okay? John Maxwell. I mean, you name it. All kinds of good stuff out there. Think and Grow Rich. Richest Man in Babylon. Okay? The Magic of Thinking Big. Unbelievable books out there. What are you putting into your head each and every day? Leaders are readers, plain simple. Okay, commit to plugging a certain amount of people into the success system each week. I remember saying, okay, 5 to 8 people a week, that's a done deal. And you know what? Most of the time it was more like 8 or 10. Okay, but we set a goal, 5 to 8 people a week. You can be busy as can be and still have 3 or 4 people on a couple webinars. There's 8 people right there. Okay, follow up. The fortune is in the follow up, 24 to 48 hours. If it's 49 hours, you messed up. You lost them. Okay, this isn't coming from me. Okay, this is all proven stuff. Okay, scientific. 24 to 48 hours, at 48 and a half, they've lost interest. You messed up. You got them into the success system, and then you let them down. The fortune's in the follow up, and then you repeat. Then what do I do after that? Well, you repeat this whole page. Okay, get more people off the list. Okay, commit. Charge your battery again this week. Listen to the team calls. Okay, listen. These were non-negotiables for us. We never negotiated this. We never said, well, we'll do this and this, but not that. We just said, show us what to do. We'll do it. Okay, be teachable, be coachable, be intentional. Remember this: you plus your sponsor plus your prospect equals success. You without your sponsor plus your prospect equals 110% frustration 110% of the time. If you're trying to do it by yourself, you're messing up. You without your sponsor plus your prospect equals frustration every single time. So, is it worth getting better at the skill of connecting people that you know with your upline? I think so. Okay. Are you serious? Are you committed? You know what? Here's another non-negotiable. Jim O'Hickey said, you know what? Serious business builders get to 3K club every pay period. And we go, okay. So our goal was an advisor every pay period. We didn't negotiate. We didn't rationalize. We didn't say, well, we just did it. And you know what? We probably in our first year probably averaged 8,000 to 9,000 every pay period, because we had some pay periods well over 10, 12, 15,000. All right. So what is your mindset? That's all it is. Some of you right now are going, well, that's a lot to ask. Okay. You know what? Not if you have your mindset. What if you start out each and every pay period and said, you know what? That's me. That's me. I'm going to hit that every single time. No questions asked. I don't care if I have to sell 13, 24-day challenges every pay period until I find some hard-nosed advisors who want to win like I do. You know what? I'm going to make it happen. Are you serious? Are you committed? Are you hitting the 3K club each and every time? And you have plenty of time. You have all day today, all day Sunday, all day Monday, and all day Tuesday, all the way, if you're on East Coast, all the way till 3 a.m. to get to 3K club. Okay? It's a mindset, people. It's a mindset. Whatever it takes mentality. Not a, well, I'll try. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Okay? Yoda says there is no try, only do. I don't know if he said it like that. Okay? Whatever it takes mentality. No excuses, right? Get them out of the way. Set your goal. Listen, set your goal. Where do you want to be? You want to be 3-star gold or ruby? Okay? By the end, listen, Wednesday starts a new pay period. That's a 3-week pay period. Where do you want to be? I have an idea. Get, pin silver, pin gold, or 3-star gold this pay period. Then you have a 3-week pay period to pin it in 2 consecutive pay periods. Okay? But listen, here's the key. 3-star gold, ruby. What's your next level? 6-star, emerald, 9-star, diamond. How many diamonds we can have in 2014? I can tell you what. If we're going to be $1 billion company in 2014, there's going to be diamonds break on our team. And it's going to be exciting to see who comes out of the woodworks and says, you know what? That's me. Put a date on it. Speak it. Declare it. Go get it. It's yours. All right. Master the number 1 rule. Get yourself and your team to impending events. We got Success School coming up in Columbus. If you are in this general area and you're even negotiating that, then you know what? You're not serious about your business. Okay? Doctors go to med school, lawyers go to law school, and successful people in Advocare go to Success School without any equivocations, without any excuses, without any rationalizing. Okay? Number one rule. Okay? I don't care if you don't have a person going, you first got to commit to going yourself. People will only follow you if you are committed. Our first school, we had 3 people. Our next one was over 70. And after that, I think around 200, and it just keeps going. Okay? You got to commit to that and don't negotiate that price. Okay? Your business depends on it. 80% of all income is earned by those who go to success school. Are you registered right now? Okay? The end of registration comes up, I think, next pay period. You better get registered. Okay? I'm just saying, listen, this is for you. This is for you. I mean, take it or leave it. You don't have to do what I say. This is a volunteer business. We're just trying to give you some pointers what's going to work and what has worked for us. Life on your terms is there for you. It's there for the taking. And as it says right there, you have the vehicle. All you have to do is get in, put the pedal down, and go. We will help you steer towards your preferred future. God bless you guys. Have a blessed Saturday. But you know what? Get to work, get busy. Let's go change some lives, starting with your own. See you guys.